Hello and welcome to another episode of Put Me in Coach on episode 58, Diamondbacks versus Mariners Game 3. So the starting lineup of today for the Diamondbacks, Nolan Arenado is back from the IL playing third base. And then I thinking Ryan Wolfsman playing center field, going a little bit up there and stuff. And then Vargas going a little bit down, playing second base. Marte is DH and stuff. Jose Fernandez playing first base. Amaris Garcia playing catcher, and Tim Tawa playing left field, and the rest is exactly the same and stuff. We have pitch hitters as well. Gabe Marino came in to catch for Garcia, and then Adriel De Castro playing pitch to come in to pitch hit as well later on, and stuff for somebody. I thinking it was Tim Tawa and stuff. Gabe Marino came in to play catcher in the bottom of the eighth, and then Tommy Troy came in to play left field in bottom of the 10th. So that is that, and also you do know now it went to the 10th, by the way, if you notice that. If not, yeah, we didn't really do a lot of scoring. Somehow enough, pitching wise for the Mariners did really good. That's why we didn't really get so much. The only people did get base hit is Corbin Carroll and Vargas, and that is that. So we cannot win games with not a lot of hits. So just showing from that. So now we're going pitching wise and stuff. Morel Kelly starting pitcher for the Diamondbacks, went 6 innings, gave up 8 hits, struck out 2, walked 2, gave up 2 runs and stuff. So again, not a really good performance from Kelly. He kind of did okay, I would definitely say that and stuff, but still not enough for the Diamondbacks and stuff. For the starting pitcher for the Mariners is Bryce Miller. He went 5 innings, gave up 1 hit, struck out 6, walked once, and then no runs at all and stuff. So he did really good and stuff, similar like what Brian Rue did yesterday and stuff. So, I was suspecting this because, the Mariners starting pitchers rotation is really, really good and stuff. And also it was very interesting enough of the Mariners only used 2 pitchers this whole game and stuff. Luis Castro came in the 6th to pitch all the way till the 10th or whatever and stuff. So it's a very interesting strategy what Dan Wilson is doing to the Mariners and stuff. Obviously, these 2 pitchers just pitch for the Mariners are like starting pitchers and stuff. Like Luis Castro is also like a really good pitcher, as well as a starter, and somehow enough of like it's so interesting not to have a 5 roster starting pitcher or 6 and stuff. So I guess Castro is one of them and stuff. And I guess they were having little argument of enough of who should get the starting point view and stuff. And fortunately enough, I thinking they actually came in as a discussion to figure out enough of, hey, like, this is okay, let's do this way and stuff. You gotta understand enough of about helping the team overall and stuff. So fortunately enough, if Miller's gonna start and then Castro at the end and stuff, it's very interesting to put 2 starting pitchers in one game and stuff. So to me, it was very interesting to see and stuff. And if it's working for them, and then it works. But if it's nothing really is working for them in that way and stuff, then they gotta see something and look somewhere else and stuff. I'm not gonna say enough of the Diamondbacks should do that, but depends enough of how many pitchers they have and stuff. Who knows? Maybe, I'm would be very interesting enough of what happened if Corbin Burns come in and, being the ace for us and stuff. I don't know who would go in the bullpen and stuff. Who knows enough of, like I'm trying to think of who else would go down and stuff because Ryan Nelson has pitched in the bullpen before and stuff. I'm not saying enough for Julio Rodriguez, not Julio Rodriguez, that's on the other side. Eduardo Rodriguez, I meant to say, and stuff. It's the Rodriguez, it's confusing me. Everybody's Rodriguez. So I just I don't know. He's good. Even Michael Zorka is doing good. Kelly, some ways enough. I cannot see Kelly in the bullpen if they could, but I don't know. Just it will look more weird. I get Brandon Fott now bet down and stuff, but I feeling that was a good strategy for the Diamondbacks for Brandon Fott to go in the bullpen and stuff. But it's just I don't know. I can see Nelson do it again and stuff, but overall I can see Rodriguez do it. Maybe a little bit. I'm not 100% sure. He has been a bullpen before and stuff. So, again, I've seen that before. I'll be not more surprised enough that they put Gallen in the bullpen in some ways. Maybe. I'm not 100% sure. But I can't see Kelly. I can't see Kelly in bullpen. I cannot and stuff. I don't know why and stuff. And I wouldn't put Michael Osarka in bullpen either and stuff. I don't know. I like him as a starting pitcher in my opinion and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see Corbin Burns coming back. So in that typical strategy of enough to put two starting pitchers in one game and stuff, it's very interesting. I don't know. The Dodgers did, put everybody, in the Game 7 in the World Series. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Depends enough of how good the pitchers is going to do in the game and stuff. So that's just all that matters from that. So, yeah, but fortunately enough, the Mariners pitchers, they're just all good, I cannot regret on everything about what they do. They have a good starting roster overall and stuff. Everybody in that team. Be more of a surprise if they should win more because I don't know. Maybe it just depends of who are they playing. And then the bullpen for the Diamondbacks: Kevin Ginkel, Brian Garcia, Juan Morello, and Jonathan Lizkia. And the only person gave up a run is Lizkia, and you'll probably find why. So now we're going in the scoring. Not so much. There's not really a lot of scoring in this game and stuff. I didn't really talk about all of the scoring. So if you think enough of a little scoring that's a little misspoken in a way enough hey that doesn't sound right and stuff. You probably understand why of enough because fortunately enough the Diamondbacks didn't really score in the best way, I would definitely say, and stuff. They made the game interesting. I would definitely say that, but there's not really anything to really talk because the most of that I would absolutely talk about scoring is mostly the Mariners because they did more things what we did and stuff. So Cole Young hit a solo home run to make it 1-0 in the bottom of the second, and then Dominic Calzone did it again. Another solo home run to make it a 2-1 bottom of the sixth, and then Victor Robles with a RBI single walk-off hit to win the game to make it 3-2 bottom of the 10th. We got swept from the Mariners in T-Mobile in Seattle. So fortunately enough, my best friend is actually pretty happy of enough because he lives in Seattle, and so good for him and stuff. Final score is 2-3. Our record is now 31-27. We're going downhill and stuff, and this really hurts us very well taken and stuff. We're still in the high of it. We're still in third place in our division, but yeah, the Mariners has won 6 in a row at this time, and fortunately enough, that's good for them, but not good for us to get swept and stuff. So that's pretty much it, and especially enough for tomorrow. We're going to play the Dodgers, like, in 4 games and stuff. Just like, hopefully we'll do good against the Dodgers. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Progress. We just need a little bit more. I just thinking the offense did come through a little bit here and there in the games and stuff, but not so much. I think in the pitching, starting pitchers are the biggest ones. Was a little struggle in this and stuff. Like, I get game 2 was huge because especially in game 1, I meant to say. Game 2, we sucked and stuff. Game 1, we had a really chance and stuff, especially in this game as well. We had a lot of opportunity to get in score positions and get some runs, but we're just not of it. I think in Cole Young had a huge play on defense to rob a base hit off Perdomo and stuff. So just not the way we wanted in for our team and stuff. So yeah, kind of sucks in a way. But I just thinking our pitching just not doing so well. Bullpen is doing good, but it's just like our pitching, starting pitching, it's just there's some ways enough. Like, yeah, they did good, but it's just not enough for us to have a comeback. And then again, yes, offense was a little hard for them to literally score as well and stuff, and cannot win a game in a way and stuff. Having 2 walk-off wins. To literally get swept by the Mariners and stuff, like, it's kind of tough, especially going till the 10th inning. Like, I was a little afraid of this enough of just like, it's so tough, and it would be so much easier enough for if you're the home team in the 10th inning and stuff. You have a much better chance to literally win the game by just 1 hit and stuff, and exactly what happened. I thought enough for Domo had more of a chance to go to home and stuff, but I think he got slipped and had no chance. I don't know, just not the way we wanted, but it's whatever and stuff. So we just gotta get better. I think that's just what we need. I think we just had a tough loss against the Mariners, so and then fortunately enough, yeah, we're playing the Dodgers in 4 games next and stuff, and then I think we're playing the Nationals maybe next of it and stuff. So, and I know the Nationals are also playing really good as well. They're beating they're beating the Padres, so that's a good sign. I think the Padres lost the series over the Nationals. So again, I don't know if that's a good thing for us or a bad thing in a way and stuff. Like, it's good they're beating the Padres but fortunately enough, it doesn't help us enough to not to win any games, so we can take more lead, so we can be in the same category with the Padres. But it's tough to try to win games, but we're losing, and then the other teams are also losing as well. So some ways of it, yeah, can't do nothing from it and stuff. So hopefully we do good against the Dodgers and stuff. Maybe we can take a split over them. We can maybe win the series over them. We'll see of enough what happens tomorrow. So that is that and stuff. I know Rodriguez is pitching tomorrow, I think, over Sheeman is the pitcher. I think. I'm not 100% sure. And stuff. I know Shohei is pitching in one of them. I think he's pitching game 3 against Gallen. That's the only one. Like, I confirm enough 100% that is true fact of that. But the rest, I have no idea. Because, like, they have other pitchers. It's absolutely insane and stuff. I think in Yamamoto, it's one of them and stuff. And again, We haven't played the Dodgers lately of enough because the only time we actually played them was the first season and we got swept. So it's crazy to see from that enough to having a second time to play the Dodgers in a second series. And stuff, especially enough in a 4 season series. So yeah, I don't know. That's what it is and stuff. Sorry. A little that happens. Yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoy this episode. Hopefully you guys have a great day and thank you for watching.